Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world, and welcome to the Infinite Way. And get ready for an empowering dose of wisdom and wellness. Today on the Infinite Way podcast, we welcome the unstoppable duo, Karen Pascal and Joan Williams, co hosts of the Holistic Healing Hour on Wombology, just for one. But Karen is a powerhouse health coach, podcast producer, and publisher inspiring transformation worldwide. And Joan is a gut health expert, caregiver, and master motivator, guiding people to their healthiest and most purposeful lives. And together they bring knowledge, heart, unstoppable energy, and true wisdom. So let's just dive in. Hello, ladies.
Hello, how are you, girl?
I'm so excited to have you on and to share and to have this conversation. And I had to actually pause the conversation because we were talking so beautifully before the camera started rolling. So I want to go right back there. I want to talk about the fact that you bring a plethora of expertise in wellness. And one of the first things that we do in wellness is we look at how people are doing their work. How are they doing their work? How are they in their own way? And do they understand what that means to be in your own way, to have to do your work, right? So let's start there. Let's just dive right in, because as wellness coaches, as working with individuals to help them refocus how they navigate through life. Let's start there. How do you get them to recognize that they're in their own way?
You know, Dr. Enola, that's such a great question, because, and thank you such for a beautiful intro. Yeah.
You're welcome.
And you look great, by the way, And the beautiful thing is that we all have to really look at our lives and see where our lives are heading. And it's the importance of pausing, pivoting before you move forward. Because many times we want to arrive, but we have to really understand how are we getting there. We want to live a holistic lifestyle, but there are a lot of components that come together for us to live an holistic lifestyle. You don't just get there just like that. For the first thing first, you got to understand what is a holistic lifestyle. You got to look at yourself. You got to address certain things in your life. You got to look at your relationship. How is your relationship with yourself? How is your relationship with others? You got to look at your finances. Are you extending yourself, over expenses? And when the bills come, you're just sweeping it under the carpet and leaving it there and allowing things to build up. You got to start looking at those things. You got to look at your home environment. Is there a lot of clutter around you? Because normally when there is a lot of clutter around you, you got to look within and see if there is clutter in here as well and start clearing things away. Because when you start clearing those old energy away, you start to see different. You start to see the world in a totally different eye. Mm-hmm. How is your health? Are you looking at the things you're putting on your plate? Are you eating healthy? Because when you decide to put something in your mouth, you cannot take it back. It's already in. And when you digest it, it goes to your gut. And when it goes to your gut, it starts the gut-brain axis connection. Sometimes you start to feel foggy. You feel drained. You can't think properly. All those things make up this whole. And if this vessel, if you don't take care of this vessel, you can't function in no aspect in your life. That is why myself and Joan, we normally coach from the 12 components, and I just give you a few of them. She's going to dive into the rest of them, because these things make us up as a whole, as an individual. Are you showing yourself self-compassion? What are some of your internal dialogue? Because every day we wake up and our internal dialogue is not good at all. The things that we tell ourselves is really, really, really terrible. And we may be saying affirmations on the one hand, and then the other hand, our internal dialogue is not good. The affirmations cannot work. That is why many times people say, oh, I've been saying this affirmation for years and I'm not seeing my life is shift. It can't shift. Because if you have one energy on one side and another energy, it's not matching with what you're saying. So you gotta restructure the internal dialogue. And when you restructure that internal dialogue, you start to see a shift. You start to see a shift with your life. But then it comes to a lot of things that I said. You gotta really understand this vessel. You got to understand what are you putting into this vessel. It's not only eating, what is your spirituality, what you're listening to. But I'm going to leave the rest to Joan. Joan, take the mic.
Wow, that is truly amazing. And Dr. Eno, it's such a true joy and a true delight to be in your presence. You look truly amazing. Your goddess self is so is the you're sprinkling all of that with the world, and you sharing all that with the world, because the world needs it. We need positivity. We need that level of influence that can, when we enter a space with someone such as you know, you rise us up, you make us feel good about ourselves. You move with a level of vibration, so that you lifting all of us up together. So, you know, that speaks a great testament of who you are, the work that you have done and you continue to do and to share with the world. So congratulations and everything you're doing, because we are so proud of you. So just want to drop in and say that in this moment.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so humbled, because I think you all are phenomenal. I'm so honored to have you on here.
Thank you. It's a true joy. And so thank you for the great intro as well, just and saying who we are, what we do, and stuff like that. When you talk about in your own way and how do you navigate, you know, that's a great question, because as individuals, we all trying to navigate, finding a roadmap, finding, first of all, it's self-discovery, knowing who you are. You have to know who you are. You have to love yourself.
True.
You have to love yourself, because if you don't love yourself, you cannot love anyone else.
Absolutely.
You got to know what love look like. So when it's reciprocated to you, it's well received. You have to know what peace look like. Are you maintaining your peace? Are you centered and balanced? Sure. Because in order to move through life, center and balance and pausing is critical. It's essential, so that when crisis or whatever emerges, you can find that space to go to where you can anchor yourself, whatever spirituality, whatever is that your belief might be, but you're able to reach to something beyond yourself, that you want to see higher power, or something which can hold you down, so that when everything else is happening around you, you can pull yourself in, draw yourself in, leading into your inner wisdom. Let that be your guide, your intuition. You listen to that whisper, that inner voice, which become your guidance, that you can move forward and just glide through with grace and with ease. And that is super, super important, because we have all our inspiration, we all have all our aspiration, our goals and everything. But to achieve all of that and to hold it down, you got to be healthy.
Sure.
You have to be healthy. You have to have a level of vitality, so that you can really enjoy all of that you're going after. And you have to live from the end. Because when you're living from the end, because one of the things when we speak to clients about, what are your goals? What are you trying to achieve? And then whatever is it that you're trying to achieve, then write that out with a level of emotion. Start getting excited about it. What it feels like when you get that, when you get it, whatever that may be for you, because each one is its own, because we're going after different things. I mean, there might be similarities, yes. But then you got to nourish and nurture yourself, which Karen spoke about: spirituality, environment, your physical activity. Are you moving? Are you moving? How are you living and not letting things go? Are you holding on to things, which is weighing you down? You become overladen. You're heavy because you want to move light. You want to move light that when you get into a room, people get excited. Because you're moving with a level of energy, your vibration is high. Because first, the question you may have asked one, well, how does someone feel when they get to experience you? How does someone feel when they experience you? Is there joy? Is there fun? Is there excitement? And are they inspired? So when they leave that conversation or the phone call is concluded, they say, I feel good. I feel good. I was happy that I had a moment with this person. So those things are so essential because you don't want to, when there is a phone call, you cringe that, you got to speak to this person. No, so in order to do all of that, you got to do the work. You got to let things go that are not serving you well so that you can move light. And so that when you express or you share or you give, people can feel there's a level of resonance that goes with your voice, your presence, your aura that you give off. And people can feel that. But when you know it, that is why we wrote the book, Self-Care is Intentional, because you got to take good care of yourself. Mental, physical, emotional, right? Get out into nature. We are nature girls. We love nature because we feed off of nature, because nature gives us something that inspires us. It inspires us. For 2025, we have been more immersed into nature, right? It feeds us. We embody that. So when we show up, we are inspired. We inspire others to be your best, live your best, live your highest self. And it's an amazing thing when we talk about living higher self, because when you move, when you do all the work, you strip away, you do the self-discovery, you're leaning into inner wisdom, you're eating right, you're nurture and nourishing yourself, then you start to live higher because you let all those things go that don't serve you well. You heal. Yeah. And when you heal and you live in your higher self, you don't have room for lower energy. Yeah. Because you're already elevated to a level that there is no tolerance for things that is not serving you well. There's no tolerance for that. And then you may notice, or someone may notice, that you have changed. No, you have not changed. You have evolved.
I love that. I love that. So I want to pause you there because I want to emphasize the level by which the information that you gave and how critical it is, because we're saying it, but I want to highlight it, because what you're saying is take inventory of yourself.
True.
Take pause and take inventory. And when I say take pause, I mean slow it down to the point that you can see how you process information, so that you can see whether you go right or left in a particular decision, right? Because if you're automatically making those decisions, what's happening is that the patterns are so inherent, you aren't slowing down enough to realize that you're doing it out of pattern and not doing it out of decision, right? And what you said was so critical in order to take total stock of how you interact in relationships and how you interact as it pertains to, finances and all of these things, because they all lend towards that foundation. And if that foundation isn't structured such that it is solid, how are you going to navigate through life if you can't even trust yourself? The importance of that love that you said to share in the mirror, right? I always go in the mirror, right? Because if you don't love the totality of what you see in the mirror, how is anybody going to love the totality of what you present outside of that mirror, right? They got to love you and you got to love you. If you don't love you, you're projecting, I don't love myself, and that's what they're going to respond to. I don't love myself, And the strength by which you talked about navigating through life is so critical, especially when we talk about our spirituality and the total package, because it should complement each other and not be in conflict with each other. And a lot of times we find ourselves in conflict with one another, so that we can express one thing, but we're not able to express things in a balanced manner. because we don't feel balanced. We
Sure.
don't feel balanced in the totality of what we're taking on, because a lot of times we feel overwhelmed. Well, this part is too much. Well, this part's okay. Well, how are you going to balance that out? Because there's polarity. If the pendulum is swinging all the way to the right, when it rebounds, it's going to swing all the way back to the left, right?
Mhm.
So how are you going to get it back into that center? And what I heard you say, is that the eating is part of that, right? Because we tend to, in the pendulum's all the way to the right, we want to overeat and take out our frustrations, right? Or not eat enough and we're skipping meals because we're so upset, right? How are we going to bring that back into that center? So I wanted to highlight these things because we hear them, right? And we say them, but the importance of what you're saying is needs to be amplified. So I wanted to just grab that part of what you were saying. So here we are, we're navigating through life. And why do we do all of this? We do all of this because, to me, I call it divine alignment. It's when everything flows, everything's coming right into where it's supposed to be. It lands here just when you need it. It appears here just when you want it. And it just, talk to us a little bit about that divine alignment when you arrive, because we know our pain points. We know what we're struggling with. We understand that, but we don't understand what's on the other side after we do the work.
You see, that's such a great point you bring up there. I really like how you put it, divine
alignment. That's so beautifully said.
I really
so
like how
beautifully
you
said
it, because many times, again, we want to arrive, but we don't want to go through the process to arrive,
Right.
And many times we really need to cultivate stillness and reflection. Because when we cultivate that stillness, we got a modality that we can lean on. If it's meditation, if it's breath work, if it's yoga, whatever works for you, prayers, whatever works for you. Once you have a modality that you can lean on, once you start to lean on that modality, whatever experiences that you're going through right now in life, and no experience is bad. Each experience that we go through, we have to go through those experiences in order for us to wake up. If we don't go through these experiences, we cannot wake up. So we gotta go through these experiences so we can wake up and we could become our true self, true essential self. So when we have those modalities and we lean into those modalities, we start to think different. We start to see things different. And once we start to see things different, we are moving on that frequency of evolution. Because once you raise your frequency, you start to see above now and you look back down below. Anytime you're looking back now is to grab the nuggets that you need below to move forward. So many times, what we got to do, we got to harness ourselves. That is why I said before, we got to pivot and we got to pause. Because in those stillness and in those moments, there is where we get clarity. And once we get the clarity, we become self-aware. And when we become self-aware, we raise ourselves to the higher frequency. And once we go to that higher frequency, as I said before, you start to see things totally different. Your identity change. Because when your identity change, that is why people would say, you're different, you change.
Yes.
But I have evolved and I'm not the person who you know before.
Right.
Evolution happened within my life.
Right.
And the things you used to tolerate, you're not going to tolerate those things anymore.
No.
Your boundaries is going to change. Your values is going to change.
All of that.
So many things start to happen in your life. When evolution is happening, the things start to change in your life. And then you recognize, but you know what? The things that I used to tolerate from Tom or Diane or Pete, I'm not tolerating those things anymore. There is the light bulb for you that evolution happened.
Right.
Right, Joan?
Now, there you go. It's so much with what Dr. Enola has mentioned, we talk about divine alignment and divine alignment and things that you're dropping in and you're receiving, and what you also spoke about, and just want to touch, elaborate, expand on that as well, because when you can have the level of divine alignment, that is such a beautiful space and a beautiful spot to be in, because you've already done the work, you've done the healing, you're moving in a different trajectory. So because your vibration is in a different level, your energetic field is so clear. So you're able to have a gravitational pull that are pulling greater things to you.
Absolutely.
All your aspiration, your goals, and everything. People are just moving in because you're not in a space that you are so aligned. Divine is with you, and when you can get to that place, and it's a beautiful place to emerge to and be in, then you're able to receive. You're able to receive the level of joy, the level of excitement, and things that can enhance your life to be so much better, living your true essential self, the ultimate, your best self. And you continue becoming, continue evolving, and continue to be the best, because then you can give your best. Because when you show up in a space, then you're giving all of that, your aura, every single thing that you come with in a space, the love, the compassion, and the exchange, and everything. And when you have the divine alignment that you walking with, you shine. You shine. There is a level of illumination, right, with you, and then when you have that, you also helping others to shine their light too as well, because then you become the mirror, for others to really enjoy and just live the beautiful life that you're here to experience. Yes, sometimes, and I just want to touch something you spoke about, Karen. You talk about experience and bad or good. It depends how you choose to look at it, because everything we go through in life, each one of us that are talking here, Dr. Nola, you and myself, it builds a level of resilience, right? You become stronger, right? And when you become stronger, you have new insights, new perspectives. So you can look at things in a different light. It's crystal clear, new direction. And so, because you might experience one thing when you were maybe in your 20s and 30s, and then you go through another experience when you're in your 40s and 50s, but you choose in those moments to handle things differently because you've grown, you've learned so much. So you don't panic. Yes, it's happening. You acknowledge this is what is happening, but then you handle it with ease and grace because you have that level of divine alignment with you. You're carrying that with you. So you handle it. The pace is different. And people may look and see, oh, well, you're not bothered by it. No, you don't, because the divine alignment is with you. You are aligned so beautifully. So then, and then what happened to, I think, in that space is that because you can be calm and ease, it helps others around you too as well, because you bring them down in a space that they can say, well, okay, I can feel comforted in this moment, even I know all this is happening, but because it's aligned. And so you draw other people with you, and you can bring that down, and they can be center and balance in that moment. Dr.
I call it the ripple effect.
Yes. That's so
effect,
true.
because you're the pebble that just entered the water and you're rippling out, and then they get hit by your waves,
Yes.
It's beautiful. And what I would love to share, and where I want to take this a little bit, and I think it's important. I want to take this with heart-based decisions versus head-based decisions and ego.
That's beautiful.
Because what happens is that a lot of people don't understand when they're in their head versus when they're in their heart. So I'm going to be there to define it, and then you can chime in whether you agree, disagree, or a different perspective. It's totally fine. But I always define that heart-based decision is it's like when you're redefining fear, right? You have a bubble. You have a bubble, and there's a comfort zone in the center of that bubble. And when you're in your head, the head goes, oh, I know everything that's in the boundaries of this bubble, no problem working within the bubble, right? But the heart comes along and goes, I desire something that's not in the bubble. And then in order for you to access that, you have to go out of your uncomfortable zone, not your comfort zone, your uncomfortable zone. And so here you are in your bubble, and you have to go over here. So you have to grow and expand, because that's what the heart-based decisions always make us do, right? And you have to go, and you have to make that which is uncomfortable comfortable, right? So that you can then have your new comfort zone, your new boundaries, and you can bounce along in here until the heart goes, okay, I want a degree. I don't know that degree. Okay, and you got to grow wider, and you got to grow wider, and you got to grow wider. But the more that you grow, and the more that you usurp those challenges, and you navigate past them, and take them on, and make them a part of your norm. That is a heart-based decision, because the heart-based decision is never comfortable. A heart-based decision always takes you out of your comfort zone. It's that unknown. And when we talk about divine alignment, to me, it's making that which is unknown part of my normal navigation, such that I don't have to plan every single moment of my day. And let a certain amount of unknown lead me, and trust myself, my instincts, and everything that's within me, in order to get to that goal. That it doesn't have to be prefabbed and pre-planned out, So people will go, well, how do you know when you're in your heart versus when you're in your head? If it's comfortable and it feels like a nice warm coat, you're in your head. And if it feels uncomfortable and you don't know how the heck you're going to get there, you're in your heart. Because your heart is what makes you evolve. That you said, Karen, the heart is what makes you grow.
Yes.
So what are your thoughts?
Oh, wow. You said it so beautifully.
Yeah, beautiful.
The thing is that we find it as human beings very difficult to embrace discomfort. We find it so difficult because we are so accustomed to being comfortable and not realizing that a lot of things are birthed in discomfort. A lot of things are birthed in discomfort. A lot of pain, endurance, resilience is called for in discomfort. But in discomfort, there is where the beauty happens, and there is where the beauty lies. And in discomfort, it calls for a lot of trust, and many times that is the space we run from.
Yes.
We run from that discomfort space. And when we run from this space, that is why we keep going around like a revolving door all the time. And then we say, but how things can happen for me? Because you want to stay in that space of comfort.
Yes.
You got to get out from your head, get out from that space, and go into that heart-centered space and allow the heart to lead you and to guide you through that discomfort. But the thing is that in order for us to understand that, we got to be self-aware. We got to come to that place of self-awareness so we can understand, what? If discomfort comes, what? Let me look in this discomfort and see where I can find all the nuggets. And then use those nuggets now and start to build a path that is going to lead you, and trust the process. Because many times we don't trust the process.
Yeah.
We want everything in black and white in front of us before we can trust. But a lot of things don't come in a manual that you can hold and you can read. It calls for trust. And you got to trust yourself and trust the process where it's leading you, because the soul knows. But we don't trust that intuition. We're so accustomed to having things in front of us, and only when it's in front of us, then we can trust it. We're not trusting ourselves and that inner wisdom that we came with to move forward in life. Joan, take the mic.
I'm going to turn on the light too.
Yeah, turn the lights on.
There we go.
Yeah. Turn the lights on could be so many things, because turning the light on is be lighting up. We lighting up, we lighting up, we lighting up, we inspiring. And I like when you talk about when you talk about heart in center and in the base. And I think sometimes because of fear,
True.
Because of fear, one is afraid to step out because the level of complacency, you feel good, right? So you know what you know. But then if you can extend yourself and move into that inner wisdom, that inner self, and have that level of knowing within, and that whisper, and trust the process, as I'm supporting you, Karen, when you said trust the process, because as you go deep and you trust that process, and as you step with that level of faith and knowing and believing in something higher than yourself, right? And coloring outside the lines, and you know that you may have a desire, you may maybe aspiring for something, but when you have the knowing and you feel it within you, you impregnate it with that. It's within, and it's waiting to come out. So you trust the process, and when you trust the process, when there's some part you talk about, Doctor, you talk about expansion, because that's how you grow. You expand, you grow, and as you constantly, there is growth and expansion, because then now your best has emerged. You're giving your best to the world, not only to the world, but to yourself. Because when we give that to ourselves, then we're sharing it with the world as well, simultaneously. So when we can able to just move past fear, right? Move past the level of experience that may let you feel bogged down, and not allow your past to define you, right? You, as you rightly said, Karen, you pull the nuggets and the great things that you've learned from your past. You draw those experiences, and then you launch out whatever it is that you're going to that may make you feel uncomfortable. But I'm stronger now. I'm tapping into my inner being. I'm tapping into my inner wisdom, because you're stronger than you think. And when you can tap in and lean into that inner space and have the sense of knowing, and you embrace that, you move forward with a level of trust, because you're moving past fear. You're using every nose and what you have happened in the past for you, and you're redirecting it with a level of motivation. Because when you move in a level of motivation and you step higher, then you're moving now into a level of transformation, where the metamorphosis takes place. It's the new you, because we all are constantly becoming. And the world is able to enjoy all of you, because you're given so much more. All your gifts are coming right out into fruition, where you can share and enjoy and just live full, the fullness of you. Because what we can ask one today, who is listening to this segment, are you living full? How are you living? Are people experiencing your best? Are you moving in high energy? What kind of vibration you bring into when you enter a room? Are you moving in a low vibration, or people get excited when they see you? As soon as they hear your name, there is a level of joy. Does that happen for you? That's the question we want to put out there.
I love it. I love it. And I'm going to go there with you. I'm going to throw out a word, and we're going to have a word play today. And the word is transcendence.
Oh, I love that. Transcendence
mean to you? And I'm going to go first, right? So when I think of transcendence, I'm going to take you back to the indigenous medicine wheel. All right. The medicine wheel is just a cross inside of a circle, right? So when you go to your horizontal, right? To me, the horizontal is the humanness. This is the way that the rules are defined, how to navigate through this world, the humanness that we have. And when you talk about the vertical is, to me, the etheric world. That's the world that I go to pray. That is the world that I call on my creator. That is the world that I go inside and I call on things. That's the world of the unseen, right? And then when I pass through that, I'm passing through my heart, right? My heart is my gateway, right? The cross is right where? Right in the center of my chest, right here in my heart. And my heart goes, okay, I've heard how I want to do this instinctually, the little voice in my head, creator talking to me. And I exit my heart and I go, okay, human world, I got to navigate you, because this is where I'm at in order to adhere to this. Right? So when we talk about, and I love you both do this, and it just warms my heart every time you do, are you living your best life today? You even in text messages, you say that. And when you get on the phone, that's the first thing you say is, are you living your best life? And to me, that says that the vertical world by which you operate, and the thoughts are formulated and the words are formulated and the vibration is established, it's
Yes.
coming out from the world of bliss, from a place of that quiet space where you're sitting still, but in such joy, in such bloom, that when it exits out of that heart to the human world, and I'm defining this on purpose because people don't understand what living your best life means. People don't
True.
understand divine alignment. It means that that vibration of joy, bliss, that's what we're referring to as a high vibration, transcends through that heart and then leads in your life as you navigate through the daily activities of this world. Okay? And so I transcend the things that would annoy me. I transcend the person who's getting on my nerves and came there and was just nasty. I transcend the things where everything's not falling into alignment. Okay, instead of going, no, nothing's happening and I'm the victim, what am I supposed to learn from that? Why am I supposed to learn? Why am I supposed to learn that? Is this a decision I make wrong all the time? Do I always go right, right, right? And the universe has been waiting for me to do left, so it keeps repeating itself again until I finally make a different decision? You know, transcendence in the respect that when we talk about low vibration, that vibration that you are in such a pattern that automatically, as soon as you walk through the door, you're in a bad mood. Why? Because it's just like, oh, I hate to be home. Oh, this, oh, that, whatever the case may be. Maybe you don't like that the dishes are there. Maybe you don't like that the house is in disarray or whatever, right? And so it just automatically puts you in that place where you're just not happy. Just nothing is working right. Nothing makes you happy, whatever the case may be. So that transcendence for me is that I get to a point where my higher self, the place where I go etherically, the place where I go to pray, transcends over the humanness of the day-to-day activities such that I can flow through navigating the day. I can flow through the conversations, whether they're engaging or not. I can flow through the fact that so-and-so's in a bad mood and he can't put me there. I can navigate and flow through no matter what is trying to pull me down. I can stay above it because I've transcended and my vibration is high, and that's what it means to me to live my best life. And when you ask me, are you living your best life? I love that because it reminds me to make sure that I am transcending the day. So that's what it means to me. What does it mean to you?
You know, we can see that passion.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
flowing.
You are transcending.
Yeah.
I didn't want you to come on here getting bored and thinking I'm going to just do the standard.
We can see that passion. You just explaining transcending, you know, because the thing is that many times in the past, you know, people would get us upset, you know, and the thing is, people play on your emotions.
Yes, they do.
You know, if an individual know that something is going to get you upset and they see your body language, your facial expression, they're going to keep playing you it. But you have got to learn that whatever they bring to the table, you can always rise high above that, you know. And once you can rise high what they bring to the table, then they realize the food they're feeding you're not partaking, you know. So now when you are not partaking of that food, they will never bring that food to you anymore, you know. But you can only understand that when you transcend, when you move in that higher power, you can only understand what somebody is doing on a lower frequency, you know. That is why each day before you start your day, you have to have a ritual that you do for yourself. Meditation, yoga, whatever it is, because you've got to center and balance yourself before you enter into the world, because you just don't know what the world is going to throw at you. But once you can put yourself in that space before you put yourself out to the world, it doesn't matter what the world throws to you. Because the thing is, you will always take that energy and convert it. Whatever somebody throw, you will convert that energy, and then the individual will always have to say, again, he changed or she changed. But remember, you're not living in that lower frequency. You have transcended yourself to the higher frequency. So now, you now position yourself, because remember, you're centered, you're balanced, you're self-aware. You know when somebody is trying to attack you, you know somebody intention, because you can see. That's the beauty. You can see when you transcend, you can see. You can see somebody motive when they're coming to you. And another thing before I toss the mic to Joan, because you can see, whenever if somebody call you on the phone, you can refuse to answer that phone call because you know what that person is coming with. You understand what I'm saying? Because when you transcend, that space is magical, it's phenomenal, it's mystical. John, take the mic. Such a good conversation.
Wow, this is such a beautiful moment, because transcending yourself, or being the word transcend, what comes to mind? How do you fortify yourself on a daily basis?
Sure.
What are your routine in the morning and nightly routine? Because how you show up in the world, it depends what you've done before you enter the world in your work life. So when you fortify yourself, moving in center and balance, you're looking at things from the unseen, because you're whatever spiritual practice that you pull from on a daily basis, because you're pulling from something beyond yourself, from the unseen, whether it's God or whatever is it for you. And so you fortify yourself, you fill yourself up. Because when you fill yourself up, so you get fortified, you're fully grounded, you're centered and balanced. It's a different kind of feeling from when you just show up out like that. It's a different feeling because you feel full. You feel full because you know you're not walking alone. You're not walking alone. And when you're not walking alone, it's a different from when you're walking alone. And we all understand when you say we're not walking, because we're carrying something that is so powerful, because we're embracing our spirituality. We're embracing all of that unseen forces that come to it with us, whatever your belief might be. And so you feel full. You fortify, you feel strong, you feel centered and balanced, you're grounded. So when you step out in whatever area that you move into, whether you're doing caregiving, you're doing pushing, whatever it is that you're doing you're good, because when you show up, you can receive and you can give. There is a level of reciprocity. So that first of all, your thinking is very much clearer, right? Sure. And so whatever show up, then you now decide to choose, how am I going to handle this?
True.
How am I going to handle this? Or am I choosing what is not choosing me?
True.
Because when you operate on that level, how you respond is a level of maturity, because you already fortify yourself. And so you don't engage in lower energy, because you already transcend, right? You're moving with a level of empowerment, whether God's power, whatever power that you move from the unseen, mixed with the seen. And so that when you're living at that level, there's so much a level of clarity, and you have a level of discernment, what you're choosing to respond to.
Sure.
Yes.
Take the mic.
Well, I love it. I love it. And you guys, I do come up with these eclectic things. So I know we're coming up on an hour, and this is probably going to be the last question that I throw out there before I ask you to share your work and what you do and how to contact you. But I have always subscribed to the fact that books are like the mythic map by which we build upon.
Yes.
And let me explain that in the respect that if I am learning about, for example, you wrote wellness. Why did you write a book about wellness? And I do want you to share about your books too. Why did you write a book about wellness? Well, what you did is you learned on the backs of those who have already written books
Yes.
previously. And we embrace that. And what we do is that for our interests, we create a mythic map embedded in our luminous field that says, here is the expertise that I want to build upon. And then with our spirituality and connection with Creator, it comes through us. I don't say from us, but through us, because I'm not talking about intellectual. Okay? It comes through us to build upon that which we know for the present day and for that which we have tapped into for the wisdom. And in understanding that, we have this connection and we have this ability to create this mythic map such that we can live our fullest potential in this realm of what it is that we're bringing to the table. Right? With that said, what is the legacy that you want to leave?
Joan, you go.
That is such a great question. And thank you for everything that you said, that where you talk about the mythic map, right? Because
Right.
that
Because
is, and
yeah, I'm not going to have a mythic map of art when I'm all into the sciences.
right, 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 right. That is so that is so beautiful because, and I just want to piggyback a little, because when you talk about, there's a difference when you said when it's what is flowing through you, because when it's coming through you, that's divine. It's coming through you, it's flowing through you, and then now you push it out into the world. That is so beautiful and so sweet and so inspirational, because it has a different resonance comes along with that. And so when you talk about the legacy and the books that we wrote, which is self-care is intentional, and we talk about gut health, we are empowering. We're letting divine flow through us, all of the learning and every single thing we gathered, but we put in the touch of the divine that comes through us. And when it comes through us, then it comes in with a different sweetness.
Yeah.
Because when you talk about self-care, then the sweetness is added to that, because what is self-care to you? What is self-care for you? And when we put the sprinkle of divine on that, you can feel something when you read the written word or the spoken word, whether it's audio, or is there something different? It ignites you, it touches your heart, it go right to your heart chakra. Go right to that heart space, right? And then when that happens, then it comes to your throat chakra, because then you can speak it. Mm-hmm. You can speak what self-care means to me, because I've already put myself in the space, and it's coming through me now, because then it's moving to somebody else, because self-care means different things to different people. And it depends where the space that you're at in your life and what you need to work on for your self-care in that space. So when it's coming through you and you're putting a sprinkle of divine on that as well, and then you put it out into the world, is a big difference. But whether it's self-care, you're talking about gut health, we're helping you to work on your microbiome, make intellectual choices so that you put in quality food, enhancing your gut. Then you talk about vegan, we also talk about mindful eating. How do you eat? Do you enjoy your food? Do you take time to salivate and taste the sweetness of every bite you make? Because when you take time to eat mindful eating, it's a difference than you hurry through, because you're taking time for you. That's part of self-care too. You're taking time for you, and you're enjoying great digestion, everything go down nice and smooth. And you're enjoying that because the choice you make. So when you talk about a legacy, that is what we're leaving, because it's not just a one and done, it's continual. Because as you continue to take care of yourself, as you continue to take care of your gut health, then you can live the life that you want. And then not only for yourself, your family, your others, and the generation to come. Karen, take the mic.
That's it. You know, the legacy that Joan I really want to leave behind is returning to your true essence.
Oh, love that.
You know, returning to your true essence. When Joan and I really get deep into our self-awareness and we do our meditations every morning, the last sentence that we leave before we get up, how can we be of service to humanity? And then we ask, can you give us the tools that is necessary for us to be of service? We are here to be of service, you know, and because we are here to be of service, everything comes to us through the divine that we can offer to the world. And it's a legacy that we're leaving behind, what we are offering to the world. We wrote those 2 books. We started with the 1 podcast, Soul, Light, and Body, and it triggered out as you talk about the ripple effect. Happened. 1 pebble. The pebble was soul, light, and body.
And it rippled out.
And it rippled out. Enrichment of Mind, Body, and Soul, the Reflective Speaker Series, and then the Holistic Healing Hour, which is on Womology. So you see, the 1 pebble just threw right into that water, and it rippled out.
Beautifully.
And it's continually rippling, you know. We also wrote Gut Health and Self-Care is Intentional. We also have our magazine, Start Healthy Magazine, you know. We have it both hard copy and digital, right? So the thing is that when you show up, when you are aligned and you show up authentic in this world, you leave a legacy behind. Because the universe, God, whatever you believe in, is going to grant you all the things that you need in order to leave the legacy for the generation when it's going to come. So whatever you're doing, do not doubt yourself. Whatever dreams you have, birth it. Because the thing is, when you leave this plane, you want to leave something behind that could benefit humanity. And in order for you to do that, you got to trust yourself. You got to live in divine alignment. You got to transcend yourself. You got to live in your true essence. You can't judge yourself. Whatever situations arrive in your life, know is a catalyst that is leading you somewhere else. Look at it as movement. And once movement is going to happen, something got to happen for that movement, you know, because you are evolving. You know, stop judging yourself. Do not judge yourself. Because when you judge yourself, that energy is not good for you. Start showing up for you. If your boundaries got to change, change the boundaries. If your values got to change, change your values. Because you're doing it for you. Let you be the choice for yourself.
And choose what is choosing you.
Absolutely.
I love it. I love it. Oh my gosh. Ladies, thank you. And I want to take this moment to have clear understanding the names of your books. Please restate the names of your books. I got the magazine, but I wanted to make sure the name of your books are very clear. But raise it up, raise it up.
Raise it up.
Self-care is intentional.
Self-care is intentional.
Okay.
Yes. Because and your gut and you.
Your gut and you. And so
yes, your gut and you.
Excellent. Thank you. So I want the audience to know that their books can be found on their website, which we'll have down in the description. Their YouTube channels will be down in the description. We'll also throw in Wombology there. And if you loved what you heard, they are on the radio. Fave Unite, FM radio, okay, on the Wombology platform, the Holistic Healing Hour at Mondays in the evenings. Now it was like 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. right? But it also adjusts to wherever you are in the world to listen because we are worldwide. So just
Right.
look up, and I'll also put in the description box access to that FM station. But I just want to thank you. Thank you for
And
taking.
don't forget Spotify.
Oh, that's right. And we're on Spotify also. So you can listen to older shows that have taken place that you didn't have the chance to listen to and the ones that are coming up. So, and I would say don't hesitate for your other two podcast shows because what you bring to the world is so important. It's
Thank you,
so,
Dr.
so
Nona.
important.
Thank you.
And again, the moment I met you, it was like an honor to know you. I was so excited. It was like, my sisters, my sisters, my sisters. It was
Yes.
just like
Yes.
we just really connected, and
Yeah, we did.
I'm so grateful. So
Yes.
grateful for what you bring to the world.
Yes.
And
Yes. Thank you.
and asking creator, what can I share with humanity? You are
Yes.
sharing because you are the beacons, you are the lighthouses, and for every flash that you do, somebody's coming out of the storm and they are aligning with you for your
Yes.
coaching, for
Yes.
your books, for whatever it is that you're contributing to the world. We thank
Yes.
you. And if you, I'm going to just go around one more time, any last words that you want to share with our audience?
Start living deeply and truly.
Yeah, and and I like that one. Start living deeply and truly. Love yourself and just know that you are special and that you are amazing and that you are unique. And do not let your past define you. Continue to stepping forward, embrace love, embrace self-discovery, and just live. Live loud and live proud and live with joy and peace and happiness because you know you're worth it.
Stop preventing yourself from shining. Just shine.
So you heard it, audience. That was Joan Williams and Karen Pascal. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you like this episode, then please subscribe to us and please share this episode because somebody out there who will listen to this will be helped today. Okay, so thank you again. This has been another episode of The Infinite Way, where spirituality meets humanity. Thank you, ladies. Take care for now. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Dr.
Bye-bye.
Nola. Bye.